Ugh. So once again, a candidate announces that he's trying to make America great again. And what does the left say? Criminal! All he wants to do is lace his rich friends with more money. God forbid. Donald Trump's really caring about everybody. Welcome back to the Rent Networker. I'm David Solomon. He is Stuart Brisgell. This is a podcast that we do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we broadcast at noon Eastern when I hit the right button. We bring you unfiltered, unedited, and uncensored conversations, folks, wide range of topics. So this podcast is dedicated to giving you the platform to express your opinions, your thoughts, experiences, and ideas, and hear from a variety of perspectives and honest opinions. We talk about the things that people might whisper, but when you're in a room full of people or a party, God forbid you should talk about conservatism. God forbid you should talk about certain things, and we here have no belief in that. We are expressing our feelings and opinions. We dive into this latest news, pop culture, and so much more. It's all about absurdity in modern life, folks, and we're living in crazy, absurd times right now. So these are the deeper issues that are going to affect society. And over the next 60-odd days, the countdown to election 2024, this is it. So, folks, in case you missed it on Thursday, Donald Trump stands up and says, really, I care about corporate America. Now, let me remind you folks, the word corporate America does not mean rich people. It means business. And the business world in the United States, 96% of businesses never go over 5 million in revenue. Listen to me carefully. 96%. That's millions, tens of millions of businesses in the United States. And when Donald Trump, in his first mandate, cut corporate taxes, the left said the only reason he did that was to put more money in rich people's pockets. But yet they had more money to invest in technology, infrastructure, salary. Now, imagine, if you will, now that Donald Trump, Stuart, announces that he wants to cut that from 21 to 15%, including for the people that you were like, the people who are, especially for those who are making product in America. That means an extra 6% in pockets, not of rich people. Sure, they'll get a kick. What about the small business owner in your community? The person who owns that local factory, who has employed so many people, who had to make cuts because of cost increases, because of gas and other reasons in the last 4 years, and now is petrified that Kamala Harris is going to raise taxes again. Stuart, you're the financial expert of this channel. What would you tell your clients right now?
I would say sit down, buckle up, Buttercup, because you know what? Donald Trump is coming to town. And you want to know something? We have been claimed as we're rich white people. You've called me with real rich white problems in the past, and I've just laughed it off because I'm not considered rich by the standards in which the Democrats are. I don't have a multi-million-dollar house, live in a mansion like Kamala Harris does, who doesn't even have the time to go to cemetery to honor the dead. But Donald Trump does, and he gets ridiculed and massacred. And we're not here to talk about that today. However, it all ties into the same thing. You got to hate on a person if you have nothing else to do and you have no other platform to stand on. He came out yesterday at the illustrious Economic Club of New York, where Donald Trump is loved more than all. That's a joke, guys. And vowed to do a number of interesting things. Not that they're unexpected, but some of them were a little shocking. He vowed to cut corporate tax rate to 15%, based off of the sole thing is made in America. If it's American made, you will benefit. He wants to empower American made product. Not pull a 1930, let's cut everyone out. No, let's incentivize people in the United States, just like every other country does, that the DNC is cow-tipped to, whether it's China, Russia, enough. He also decided that it would be a great idea to take one of the greatest minds in our time, a man by the name of Elon Musk. If you haven't heard of him, he's a guy that created PayPal. Yep. He's also the guy that gave you the savior of the people that are stuck in outer space, because Boeing can't do it. And lastly, he is the creator of something called Tesla, the electric car. That is by far what Kamala Harris was all about. And you would think that Elon Musk would endorse Kamala Harris for her Green New Deal. However, Elon Musk is a purist in all sense. Whether he's talking about censorship, where he is on the record on calling out the guys from CNN, what censorship is really all about, or whether it's about efficiency in the companies he runs, company he owns, and charities he aids to. And what do I mean by efficiency in government? Now, isn't our government efficient? According to the DNC, they are extremely, extremely efficient. And if you want the government to do the work for you and spend $8 billion for 7 electric stations in the Midwest. Now, again, Donald Trump is on the record with policy, hardcore policy, something that the left doesn't seem to have, except let's build back government bigger. Let's take away the republic and make it something else. Let's rebirth the communist idea that government knows best. I think that's what it's all about. He went on to say if he's elected, he will make America richer and stronger. Why? Because he's planning to cut back all the fat. For every one new thing forward, 10 must be wiped out. He is going to wind back all of the anti-energy crusades. Now, let me explain to you something. Let's cut the XL pipeline down in the U.S., but let's let Russia build the largest pipeline on the planet. Let me understand this. Let's let Russia enrich its population, cause the same amount, if not more, carbon emissions to benefit the world, because carbon emissions are shared, guys, not just one country. If India produces it and we don't, they're still being produced. So it's kind of an oxymoron that the Harris-Biden administration put in front of us. So he is now on the record to drill, baby, drill responsibly. Okay? He is going on an historic campaign to liberate our economy from regulations, from the world capital of the crypto and Bitcoin. He wants to make our country great again. Something that you don't hear anything from the left. All you hear from Harris is how to build the government back bigger. Let's give more money away. You know what? I'd love to give every person $25,000 to go buy a house. But who's paying for it? Now, you're listening to this. You know, I was literally on the phone with an old friend of mine who started saying you would consider voting for a criminal. That's why they did what they did. The only thing they have against Donald Trump is to call him names. Now, when you were in school, the kids that called you names, were they the respectable kids? Were they the kids you looked up to? Or were they the dirtbags that you couldn't stand? You know, we had a tragedy yesterday in the United States, in Georgia, where a 14-year-old kid went out and shot up a school. Has nothing to do with today's rant, but in some ways it does. That kid went back and had retribution for some reason. The Democrats are taking retribution on every single person in America, trying to convince you, vote for me because he's just a bad guy. But they can't explain why they're a good guy. By him taking this opportunity to spell out in utter detail how, who, why, and when, where the left can only tell you, I'm going to dream about this. And, you know, The word salad queen, though she seems to be trying to steal a simple policy, he will not tax on tips, he will not tax on Social Security. That's not what Kamala Harris said, by the way. Kamala Harris didn't say that she would not tax tips. She only said that she would fight for you not to pay tax on tips. Now, again, word salad, devil in details. Donald Trump's not a politician. He is the least likely candidate that I would want to represent my party, which is definitely not the left anymore, because he doesn't filter well. He goes off topic. He goes after people. He is not a bully. He's a counter puncher. And you want to know something? I have no problem with that. The fact of the matter is, anyone who's going to stand up for any American, regardless, is someone that I want to represent me. Now, he may not do it well. He may not do it with class. But you know what? The Rockefellers didn't do it with class. The Morgans, JP Morgans didn't do it with class. In fact, the Rothschild, the Kennedys, none of them did it with class. We're not talking about John F. Kennedy. We're talking about Joe. Now, in history, we want to remember people the way that these people get to play, that they will be remembered. You didn't have the Republicans, the right, continue to persecute the wife of a former president. She lost. Go away into the sunset. That was enough for Donald J. Trump. Why can't the left just sort of let it go and let it be? Because all of these trumped up charges and allegations don't hold a candle for what he did for every single American. How much money did you have in your pocket at the end of the week? How much money was your groceries? How much did it cost to fill up your car? How much was your car? How many hours did you work to support your family? How much time did you have with your family? These are the conversations that the left can't have you have. They have to stop you dead in your tracks to think about the way it was prior to COVID, which, by the way, is a byproduct of the Obama administration that allowed that terror to be unleashed on the world. I hope and pray that you can get your head out of the sand like a good ostrich that you are. I don't want to call you names like I normally would and tell you you've got to understand what word salad means. I'm going to fight for you means nothing if you cannot quantify. You cannot put a time to it. And you cannot give an explanation on the process in which you're going to do it. David, I just took.
Well, look, I'm just gonna put a few comments here on the table. This morning, I woke up to the news and said, "Wow, the Democrats, they feel the joy." The word joy keeps coming up again and again. Joy is an emotion. I've got it. I would like to feel joy. But joy does nothing. Joy doesn't put food on my table. Joy does not put money in my pocket. Joy doesn't tell me what the future is all about. Joy is a current emotion. And that is the only thing that you hear again and again and again. This is what the media purports again and again and again. An emotional feeling. We should all feel joy because we can't put but people are saying, hey, that's what you told me 4 years ago. I'm going to reunite the country. Joe Biden's statement at his inaugural speech, we're going to reunite the United States. Didn't happen.
Nope.
We're going to build back the United States better again. We did not. The Inflation Reduction Act. They did not. One failure after another. There's no joy in Mudville, people. There's sadness. And to sit here and to say that all the Democrats gone on stage and because a bunch of disillusioned individuals with Joe Biden now have their new savior in a cult-like religious format where everybody goes, hey, you know, the world is great with Kamala. That's nothing. That is nothing. Love him or hate him. And Stuart, this is what I dealt with in so many debates recently. The hate towards Donald Trump, the blindness towards Donald Trump. The only thing, I hear it here in Canada, by the way. There was a whole thing. The conservative leader here in Canada, the question was, do you like him? Folks, I don't care to like my leader. I care to respect the leader. France is about to put in a right-wing leader there. People hate him because he's right-wing. Irrelevant. It's irrelevant. What are his policies? Same thing here. Take your top 5 policies that Kamala Harris is going to put on the table. Take your top 5 policies that matter to you on Donald Trump and compare the two. And tell me who's the right candidate. Because again, and we talked about this in a previous rant, if you're only cheering for Team D and not Team R, then it doesn't matter what Team R does. And you're going to be blinded and believe that whatever Kamala Harris says or Tim Walz says is amazing. Because you're believing in the joy. But that didn't work for you for the last nearly 4 years. Stuart, you said it very apropos. How much money do you have in your pockets today? And yeah, the Dems are going to blame everybody for this failure but themselves. Kamala Harris already distanced herself from Joe Biden. When Joe Biden walked off the stage at the DNC, nobody noticed the knife in his back. That's exactly what they've done. They are creating an illusion, folks. This is like people smoking mushrooms. You are on a high here that has no validity, because when the high comes off, what are you going to be left with? Debt. Credit card debt at its highest ever. Okay? How about all the pain points that you're dealing with right now? Stuart, you talked about $25,000 per home. It's not about putting $25,000 in people's pockets. You just raised prices of homes by $25,000. You're making homes even less affordable. The Democrats consider you stupid people. The Democrats want to bullshit you to death to believe that you will believe they're what they're shoveling, because that's what CNN and MSNBC keep saying. This is the right path. But folks, would you walk on a path blindly for 4 years without knowing where it leads? Now, you could say that Donald Trump can't promise you 4 years, because we know when 2017, when he walked in the White House, nobody heard of COVID. But folks, he did give you a path. He talked about redoing the free trade agreement with the United States and Canada. Did it. He said he was going to build a wall with Mexico, and everybody says, no, he didn't do it. He did it. Crime, immigration, business, moving the embassy, you name it. List. You had a path. Right now, what you have with Kamala Harris is, we're going to cover your eyes. Walk with me. You ready? I'm not. Stuart, last word to you.
I don't really have one, David. We kind of ran our time up. We kind of hit it well, and I hope everyone has a great long weekend. And don't remember. I don't know what long
weekend you're referring to, but it's a normal weekend, buddy. Anyways, on that note,
that's long enough for me. 2 days away from you.
Folks, yes, absolutely. Keep away from me. That's it. Today, that's it, folks. Thanks for your Friday edition of the Rant Network. We're back Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon Eastern when we broadcast. It's all about getting something valuable out of these insights. We appreciate your support. Check us out on social. Check us out on therantnetwork.com. Please subscribe on YouTube. It's really important for us and for everybody to keep spreading the word. YouTube is not making it easy to find us. Okay? Facebook is not making it easy to find us. But the more people we click on it, the more we're forcing them to get notice. So in the meantime, until next week,